Hi. I'm changing. It's good change, but all change is difficult. So, one of the ways that I'm changing is that during this time period, it's getting longer and longer, in which I've felt really bad. I kind of have to fry my concentration. I have to distract myself from the pain. And so I'm almost always watching videos. And I don't know if it's me. Like I say, I'm changing. And or YouTube, but I cannot watch more than a few seconds currently without just stopping it and I can't stand it. And I understand easily. I can understand that people probably can't understand my style of streaming. So, it's the whole be the change you want to see in the world. But by the way, I'm pretty sure I'm aware when I move this, it makes noise that the microphone picks up. And I've been noticing on video podcasts lately, people rearrange their microphone and it doesn't make any noise. And I'm really interested in that. But anyway, there's a reason that I talk this way into the camera, because it's human. And I have a really hard time with... I could just start playing a video and then you could hear it. But, the tone, the ones that are popping into my head are things like, we're counting down the 7 ways that, So those are obviously inhuman monsters, real people who just talk that way for broadcasting. But I think it might just be part of the whole thing of how YouTubing is a business. And so even people who start out just doing their own thing get better and better. And what that means is more professional. And what that means is a little bit more fake, maybe. I don't know. It's difficult for me. All I know is I watch things and I think, I don't like the way this person is talking. And like I say, I could totally understand more people feeling that way about me. But that's why I put out the content that I do, because it feels human to me, and the other feels stilted. And another way that I'm changing is I'm going to open up this shirt and I'm going to talk about what goes through my head as I do it. So I'm getting ready to move away. So I'm trying to reduce everything that I have, but I have a funeral to go to, and 2 nice people took me suit shopping. And while there, we got this shirt. And to me, it's a total nightmare, all this packaging, but anyway, I noticed it says responsibly grown cotton. That's one of the first things I pull off. So here, this is completely unnecessary, but it is recyclable paper. But I see this and I think about, see, I know this is making noise, sorry. I don't know if I'll ever, someday I might have a little bit of extra money and buy some setups to do better videos. So as I'm cleaning out my house and throwing a bunch of things away, I'm finding stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I saved that. I saved that because I thought maybe I would do a video on, there was a time when I was helping my uncle with his mail, and I saved some of the most scammy, hostile, aggressive, deceptive marketing things. And, I kind of wanted to talk about the types of groups that target older people. And it's like right-wing charity, religion. It's the nexus of all those things. And the way that, and then they throw that, like they'll tape a penny, they'll put a dollar bill in an envelope. They just would do all sorts of really strange things to get my uncle's attention. So there was a time when but my poor uncle was just swallowed up by mail. And that's so funny because of the way I live, I hardly get any mail. But anyway, so here I am. I'm going to unpack this shirt and all of the trash that is in it. Yeah, that's true. I need more than a recycling can. I need a trash can too. But these are some of the things that weigh on my brain. And I always, another video that I guess I'm making right now, but if I could edit one together, it would be on hoarding, and how I don't hear anyone ever talking about hoarding as being a societal problem. All right, I think it's going to make a yucky noise again. People talk about, as if individuals have some failing, as if it's perfectly normal to throw away the amount of stuff that we throw away. So here's this plastic thing. Plastic isn't recycled. Plastic recycling is a scam. So that's very depressing. Not that I would hoard or save that, but there are times where I'm opening up things, packaging, I remember my great-grandmother would want to save the wrapping paper, and everybody thought she grew up in the Depression and it doesn't make any sense and blah blah blah. But the older I get, I'm like, it actually doesn't make any sense to make something for the express purpose of throwing it away immediately. I think that's supposed to be the feeling of luxury, like how do you pamper yourself? Well, you buy something that just comes in really lavish packaging and it's cheerful and maybe this serves a purpose, but it's also just a bunch of advertising. I don't know. I suppose this is the way they keep shirts in good condition while they're in inventory. Then you've got the sticker thing. So the fact that all of this waste weighs on my consciousness as a human being, I don't think that's a flaw inside me. I think that's what every person should feel living on a planet with limited resources that we're filling up with our garbage. So how do I do, what do I do about it? The videos are just chit chat, and I may not ever make the long form videos about hoarding or religious scams or whatever. But instead, I take these thoughts, and I've been, so this is recyclable, so this I feel much less distressed about. Paper, metal, and glass is recyclable. Now, I don't know if it's economical or ecological, but I know that it's possible. And if it's possible, then it's probably, beneficial or efficient. But anyway, so I probably want to end up, what I want to do is I'll end up writing the world's most boring recyclable sci-fi book. Here's the recycling over here. Paper. Because you know how, I've always been a fan of Star Trek, and sometimes you run into like YouTube videos by fans, or I think there are even books on this topic of explaining Star Trek's economy and culture, like what's behind it. But that's not the topic of the show. The show is about adventures. But basically, because I figure maybe I'll write a book, and because it's a book, it can be long, and I want to have all those details I want to think about what are the little things that could make society more interesting. Anyway, and in my society, basically nothing would be manufactured that isn't recyclable or long-lasting durable. Or maybe that would be the principle that someone suggests, or the goal. And then it may be impossible. There may be things that there's a certain percentage of stuff in every industry or certain industries that will be wasted. Well, then that's a topic of debate or conversation in the story. And a solution could be that you have to have some kind of permit, and there's a limit as to a percentage of how much waste can be tolerated in every industry or in specific industries. And all of these things are decided by consensus, by the community. I've always regretted that in my life, I experience the way people talk about the government is this oppressive other, and the government, we should be self-governed. The government should be us, multiplied by our millions or whatever. It should be understood as the format by which we make group decisions, therefore empowering, not disempowering. But it never seems to be that way. So the next phase is I might have to iron this, and that's, yeah, well, let me just hang it up for now. It's easy to be excited by new things. I knew that would happen. I I like marched the hanger all the way up through the shirt, not realizing that the neck was wide open. Oh, because, I was asked, well, do you have a tie that goes with the lavender shirt? And of course, in the store, like, all those ties look amazing, but I was like, I have hundreds of ties. I will make it work. So now I'll bring some tie options. Here's one. It doesn't actually, wait, how are we going to do this with the light? It doesn't have any lavender in it, but it's, I think it looks good, and it's very fall. And check out this tag. I guess never been worn. Oh, fudge. Doing things in a hurry is how you damage things. How I damage things. I've converted like a lady's belt holder into a tie holder, and it's overflowing because I have too many ties. But anyway, this one does have lavender in it. This is a retro tie that I've worn to weddings. A Wimlon fabric by Wembley. For blue, black, or gray suit. Oh, phew. I'm so glad they told me that. And of course, it's got eternal stains in it. I do not care. But there's no, oftentimes there'll be like a local store additional tag sewn in, there may have been one that fell out. Stop that. And how would that look? Pretty cool, I think. And there's more. Here's a really weird retro one. It's like upholstery. Oh, it's another Wembley. Do like a contrast with like this sort of golden brown. Oh my God. I don't know if you can hear it. My next door neighbors on the other side of this wall have a very loud TV that they hang on the wall, and I can only assume that they're deaf. But ever since they invented TVs that hang on walls, it's ruined my... I don't even live in this room anymore because of it. And then here's a bunch more ties, and I have ties in like 32 places. My grandfather had boxes labeled skinny ties, narrow ties, and wide ties. And I guess he'd just rotate them out as the styles came and went. I don't feel great, and that TV noise really bothers me. Oh. I turned it the wrong way because I was using my left hand upside down. It was sunny, and I got a little bit of... got a little red, and to be totally honest, I think it looks good. Rosy cheeks. All right, I guess that's it. What was I talking about? Let me recap. I'm changing. I've been in transition, in a transition period for a long time. And for me, that's good because I consider life to be about embracing change. Why did I bring this out here? I'm just tired. And I know I can't save everything. Well, I'm changing in many more ways than just what I'm keeping, but I was scanning the room and thinking about giving things away. And even with the door closed, I can still hear and all they watch is Fox News as far as I know. I'm changing. I'm moving away from things that irritate me. I'm pursuing my goals. Oh, I think this is a really cool tie. It's modeled after, I think it's modeled after like Blueprint. What's that blue paper that, do you know what I'm talking about? And I think that would look okay with lavender. And this tie has a very strange, maybe it's a moth or maybe it was a pin, has a very strange damage. Trying to. Oops. Sorry about that. Oh. I can't focus well with this. Someday I'll get a better camera, maybe. But anyway, it has a hole. But I don't think that matters. There's something really sort of handmade about this one. But, as I move into my next phase of life, I hope to get rid of most of these. And they're nice and all, and I hope that others, someone somewhere finds some use out of them, but it's a poor use of resources for me to have all these ties. I mean, the world has too much. So I go back to hoarding. Some people, I guess, look at the wealth of products and think it's amazing. I think it's sad. And like if I go to an estate store, estate sale, well, it's more like an antique mall. If I go to one of those places, I feel so sad. I feel like here's all this stuff that nobody needs. And other people see it as like exciting treasure hunt. And I just think all this stuff just needs to be given to people who don't have it, whatever it is. And I guess I'm a communist, but I can't stand inefficiency. I can't stand waste. I can't stand suffering. So why would I be happy and comfortable with the current system? I'm not. So I'm not changing that. I'm changing my location. I'm changing my reactions to it because, earlier I was talking about changing my ability to watch YouTube and saying I don't like the way people talk. I don't like the way I talk when I get into a pattern. I'm changing the na or na 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 na. What's important to me is authenticity and to be thinking while I'm talking. And it's not so easy. And for me, jumping into patterns, reusing patterns, yeah, it's not thinking while I'm talking. It's relying on patterns that I've already learned. So, and I don't like that. I begin to feel uncomfortable. I don't like it from others, but I don't control others. And I don't really like it when I do it. I'm not trying to give myself a hard time about it. I know it's obviously understandable and very predictable, and because it's hard to be in the moment every moment and also, be like trying to remember something and all the other things that are going on in my head, like in the background. So whenever there's an opportunity to reuse a pattern that's, worked before, the brain is like, oh yeah, just do that. you know, put your cadence on autopilot so that you can use your limited juice on something else. That's how I see it. But I'm going to go soon. And then it's 10:15 and I've brushed my teeth and I'm sleepy. So that's good. So I might listen to an audiobook, which is, when I'm able to listen to an audiobook, that's good. So I'm changing.